All right. What up, man?
How's it going, Ivan?
It's good, man. How are you, dude?
I'm doing great. It's been a long time.
Yeah, dude. What are you up to these days?
Nothing much. I just completed my master's degree last December, and now I'm just working and living life.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
What'd you complete it in?
I got a master's in accounting.
Oh, shit, dude.
Yeah, I completed my BA in business administration with an emphasis in accounting, and I instantly transferred to a master's degree in accounting. So.
Dude, maybe you could teach me some shit about about business then, because I don't know anything.
Yeah, business, accounting, economics, finance. It's my that's my wheelhouse.
So, yeah, dude, tell me about that, dude. You started like your own firm or something?
No, I haven't started my own firm. I actually work for a major movie studio right now. I work as a financial analyst, but in my spare time, I do a lot of different stuff. I kind of help some close friends on, handling their finances and a lot of different stuff with trading, especially going on right now. Trading's been a real big boom lately for this whole COVID thing that's going on, and just trying to help people get through their lives.
So, like, what do you think is going to happen with this whole COVID thing then?
The whole COVID thing's a real mess right now. Whether you believe it or not, there's going to be some serious ramifications, coming down the line. Economically, this isn't even the start of it. I mean, we are just at the forefront of what's going to be happening economically going forward. We've had some real iffy policy, being pushed through this whole thing. And from a financial standpoint, I just don't see things getting better for quite a while.
I kind of don't know. I don't know how to approach this because finances are just so out of my realm of knowledge or expertise.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of trying to think. I don't know, man. I don't know which way to approach this. Let me see.
Well, I originally came on because I kind of wanted to get, I kind of wanted to speak to you about, kind of everything that's going on. You're more involved in, the science community than I am. So I was hoping you might be able to, educate me on some of the stuff that's going on from a scientific background. And then, we can have a discussion between, how these things are going to correlate going down the line. Because what are you doing now? You were working as some researcher, weren't you?
No, I was, man. A lot of shit happened to me in my life, dude. I kind of veered off the path, in terms of education. Life is a mysterious, life is a mysterious thing, dude.
It is.
But no, I'm applying to get back into it, man. I just want to finish my bachelor's and try to get an engineering degree. I don't know if I'll go for a master's, but allegedly it's not that necessary for engineering positions, but I'd like to maybe get another pay grade. If I had a dream, I think I want to start my own company after getting my bachelor's.
It's a great
after
idea.
Working a while. Yeah.
You can always call me if you need any help setting anything up. I do have some experience in that.
Dude, that'd be awesome, man. I have an idea about making prosthetics. I want to start making high-end prosthetics and part working making targeted treatments because it's a really big problem in the medical community to make medicines that are targeted. When you take a medicine, it's it turns systemic. It's not say you're taking chemotherapy. The shitty thing is that it affects your entire body.
Yeah.
And you want to I'd like to make something that would probably make a more a directed treatment if I could,
Well, that'd be great. I mean, we definitely need more people doing that. Elon Musk had a really interesting quote. I forget where the source of it was, but it was from Elon Musk, and he said, America has a problem where lot of the smartest people are going into finance, and it's really becoming a problem because we need more scientists. We need more people working on, things like that you just mentioned. And sadly, it, probably doesn't pay as well as most other things. People go into finance because, it's very lucrative, and it takes a certain mindset to understand it really well.
It's also probably the whole like creative aspect of like maybe even thinking of anything, like let's like take like Einstein, like I mean, yeah, he finished like his thing, like, his degree in school and shit, but like he was off like doing his own thing for a long time.
If you look at anyone who's been successful over the years, you'll find out that a lot of the most successful people in the world don't have any sort of college education. And I talk about it a lot, and the education system is really broken right now. It was developed so long ago, and it was more developed to create workers. It wasn't developed to create, these creative thinkers that are going to solve all these problems. It was made to create people who would go to work and work for people, during the times. It's a very broken system right now, and I think there's a lot of things we could do to fix it.
I think that's definitely part of the problem, man. Like I think like you said, I think the school system just pretty much shows you how to like either like if you're just taking like the high school system, like everything up to the high school system, you're just essentially becoming like accustomed to like a work schedule, and then beyond that, like you're just learning how to regurgitate like whatever they want you to say.
I completely agree. And I think it would be wise for people to do their own due diligence and, do their own research into things. A lot of my degree was focused solely on business and accounting.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I talk about a lot is the highest form of math you will ever need to know to make money is in the 4th grade. You don't.
Yeah. It's just like plus and minuses and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I do a lot of day trading, swing trading, options trading, and it's probably been the best thing I've done. I've been able to save a lot of money during this time, and I've been able to grow it a bit through all of this. And I never learned a lot of that stuff in school. There was financial theory I understood, and how kind of the numbers go back and forth between businesses and how to read a cash flow statement, an income statement, and a balance sheet.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know to even start investing. And I've just been lucky enough that I live in an era where literally at my fingertips, I can look up anything I want. So when the outbreak happened, I started looking into how to trade options. Options is a really great way of growing your money if you understand it really well.
Well, what is it, dude? Like, how could someone like me get into that shit? Like, I don't have that many assets right now, but I had like I don't know. Could you like start like building something off of maybe like $5,000 or something?
Easily, dude. Yeah. I started back in. A lot of people don't know this, but it took me a long time to get through school. It took me 8 years to complete everything up to my master's.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have a penny to my name. I had no money. My lovely fiance has been supporting me forever, and I'm so grateful for her and everything she's done for me. And I'm kind of just trying to make up for the lost time, that poor girl. And
dude, congratulations.
When I first started, I started with $3,000. I put $3,000 into my E-Trade account. And since November or December, I've ended up growing the account to about $30,000 right now, just between saving from my paycheck every 2 weeks and then trading, getting my short-term capital gains and everything. If you're willing to learn, it's not difficult. Like I said, you only need 4th grade math to understand most of it.
Dude, I mean, like, full disclosure, dude, I fucking lost my job because of this whole COVID thing, dude.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's fine, man.
I feel for everyone who has lost their jobs. I've been blessed enough to have not lost my job. I work from home. I'm working on my work laptop right now. And
Dude, good for you, man.
my
I'm happy for you.
my studio has been kind enough to keep everyone on, and they're doing their damnedest to keep everyone. It's
Yeah. Yeah, man. I was gonna say something else about that. Fuck, dude. I haven't been really like. No, yeah, dude. It's like kind of like not aside from like the financial thing, it's a depressing thing, you know. Like,
yeah, and
it's like I started to think about like every like political movement or like the huge political atmosphere that's happening right now. And I don't know if you saw my post, but like I mentioned that I think it's because of people's lack of purpose or feeling that they're fulfilling their lack of purpose. And I'm not saying that's the complete reason for it, but I think it plays a large part into like the psyche of someone who gets involved into like a political ideal like that.
politics has become this strange thing lately, and
Yeah.
people are just buried deep in the mud on their sides, and none of them are willing to budge on any given issue, it seems like. One thing I try to remember is, it's like the 80-20 rule.
Mm-hmm.
The
It's like
idea
finance
is,
shit right here.
well, it's let me do this really quick.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the 80-20 rule. It's the Pareto Principle is what it's officially called. But it's the idea that 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes.
Oh, I
So,
have heard of this.
so essentially, to me, we're so inundated with the media just pushing one agenda or another that I don't think it's accurate of America as a whole. If you were to just go out and talk to most people, I think you would find most people are probably pretty close to the middle on every issue. I'm willing to bet most people are, fiscally conservative and,
Yeah.
socially liberal. That's kind of how I am. It took me a long time to realize that, and I've been kind of trying to work through my own political thoughts and ideologies, and to me, I can't stand either party. The two-party system is a completely broken party, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't advocate for any third party, but I just think we need new ideas, and I think both tickets the last two elections have been absolutely horrible.
I know, man. Can you believe it, dude? Out of like every single person that this country could churn out, those were our choices, man.
Yeah,
South Park gets like a lot of shit right, man. Like, like what I mean? Like their social commentary, like somehow is like always so meta, and it's
yeah,
so like meta defining.
yeah.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah, they talk about all sorts of stuff on there, and it's it's funny how accurate half of it is. That's why
Like,
it's so funny.
yeah, definitely, man. I mean, and it's like almost timeless, dude. That like bit about the turd sandwich
And
and the giant douche are just like,
yeah,
it's so timeless, dude.
that's exactly how I feel half the time.
Man, I was reading a book. I'm still fucking reading it, dude. I've been on this book forever. It's a Carl Jung book, and it says psychological development goes to like, you're like liberal as a kid, and then if you have like adequate development, if you have all like the pieces in place, you'll probably start developing conservative ideas, And
That's
as I'm
interesting.
like 31 years old, man, and I found myself like doing that, like challenging the ideas I had as a kid and seeing what like the role of everything is, like kind of like the Lion King thing, where like everything kind of has its place and shit.
Yeah, I almost had almost the opposite effect. Growing up, there's more women in my household than there are men. It was just me, my dad, and my grandfather. We don't really have any other close relatives. And there was my aunt, my grandma, my mother, and my sister. And the men have always been kind of more on the conservative side, and the women have always been strongly liberal in their positions, which is fine. There's no big deal about it. But I found myself more conservative when I was younger, and some things happened in my life that really made me reevaluate some of my thoughts that I had. Like the whole gay marriage issue was a really interesting one for me, and
Yeah.
I didn't support it at all. I'm talking years ago. I didn't support it at all.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't big into the idea, and then my sister came out as gay, and when that happened, that really made me rethink my ideas and everything. And, you know, some life events happened, and I really had to reevaluate my thinking. Like, why was I thinking this way? Why did I not think, you know, gay people should get married? It's a horrible thought. I can't even believe that I used to think that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started digging, and I started realizing things. And, you know, I've come to the conclusion, who cares? You know, people are individuals, and individuals should be able to choose what they want to do. And I would never tell my sister that she couldn't do that. And that's one of the things that I really had to think about. And it blows my mind that people can't apply this same idea of rethinking what they're doing, apply it to an individual level, and, you know, be willing to change their ideas. And I think some people say they're willing to change based on new information, but I don't think they are. I think biases are a huge thing in today's world. And I know I catch myself
Yeah.
with my cognitive biases, and I try to avoid it as much as I can.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's because you're a critical thinker, man. But you're a human being also, you know, like
I try to be a critical thinker. You know,
I mean that
say that
sounds like a
all the
mark of someone. No, dude. The thing is that you're always gonna fail. Like you're never gonna be able to get rid of your biases,
time.
but you could work against them. You know, like I'm not a perfect human being. You know, like I
Yeah,
fucking have some. I'm sure somewhere in the recess of my mind, there's some shit that's fucked up that like maybe I could evaluate.
yeah,
But for the most part, I think when someone gets swallowed by like their political leanings or just like their ideas, you know, like I say this thing where like I think you don't really have the idea anymore, dude. You know, like the idea has you. Like it's kind of
that's a very interesting thought.
like it's kind of like yeah, it consumes you, you know, and it becomes your identity.
Yeah, I try not to let groupthink get the best of me.
Yeah, yeah,
It's been, you know, we talk about tribalism and, you know, groupthink a lot, and I think it's a very dangerous idea. And, you know, people talk about our founding fathers and some of the principles they stand on, and I talk about it all the time, but our founding fathers did not create a democracy. And I think people have been misled to think that we live in a democracy. We don't live in a democracy. That's exactly what the founding fathers didn't want. You know, the idea of a democracy is mob rule. You know, if 50% of the people, 51% of the people can control the other 49%, that's horrible. It's no way to think. You know, uh, it's the idea of, you know, three wolves and a sheep get to vote on, you know, what they're going to have for dinner. What do you think the wolves are going to vote for?
yeah, yeah.
It's a horrible idea, and that's why I strongly believe in the republic that, you know, America was founded on, those principles and those ideas. Now, we could have a discussion on, you know, some of the things that were written and how they were applied back in the day versus how they should be applied now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole slavery issue is one of them.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah,
not perfect. That was a horrible, horrible thought. But when
yeah,
you look back at the time and you understand what was going on, you knew the principles were there, but they weren't applied like they should be today.
yeah. I mean, societies get better, dude. I mean, that's all that's happening. I mean, you know, I was talking to my friend, you know, Eric, dude. I was talking to Eric, and
Feliciano?
yeah, Feliciano.
Oh man, I haven't seen him in a long time
Yeah,
either.
yeah. Well, maybe we could get him on here. Hold on, let me text him.
Yeah, see if he wants to get on. I haven't seen him in a while. I'm sure.
Usually we have like a bunch of people on, man, but I don't know. People are gone today.
It's okay.
Wanna come on the podcast right now? Skylar misses you.
It's been, oh God, I
Reach
can't
for the Skylar misses you.
it's 2020. I probably haven't seen any of you guys in 8 years.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, dude.
It's
All
so
right, dude. If anyone watches this, man, me and Skylar used to play in this pop band. Skylar
we
was a
used to do
dope
a lot
ass
of different
drummer.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. I haven't touched a drum set in maybe 4 or 5 years.
No way, dog.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I
You
don't
have
have a
one in your
place.
house?
I still have all my drum kits. I have 2 of them. I had 3. I got rid of one of them, but I just don't have the time, and I don't have a place to put it. It's a
Well, you were
travesty,
good,
honestly.
man. You were a really good drummer.
I was okay.
No, you were good. I think you're younger than me, and you were like ahead of the curve. Like you were about as good as like every other drummer that was at Citrus, and you were younger than most of them. Or I think.
I thank you for the kind words, but there was a lot of good people there.
Yeah. I mean, there's the exceptional, like E-Man and shit at the time.
E-Man is a beast. I still love watching E-Man's videos and his playing. He's incredible.
Yeah. Joseph got amazing. And,
yeah. I still see Joseph, and he's doing his thing. I see all those guys doing their thing. I still follow all of them. I wish all of them the best.
I'm going to be playing with them on Saturday the 29th. I'm going to be playing with a few of those guys. I'm going to be playing with Billy, Miranda, Carlos.
That's awesome.
I forgot who else. I think that's all the people that you know, really. Do you know David Heyman at all?
The drummer.
Yeah. Oh, so you do know him. I thought you would have not known him since he came after us.
David came just about as I was leaving.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know David. David's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a really funny guy. I like that guy a lot.
Yeah. He might not know me very well. I mean, I think we might have had 1 or 2 classes together with each other, but he was a good guy.
Dude, I'm playing with Eric Feliciano's little brother. That kid is 19, dude. And he's fucking.
I didn't even know he had a little brother.
Dude, he's better than we are at our age. He's way better than fucking Eric and way better than me, dude.
Well, again, there's such a plethora of knowledge out there.
Yeah.
It's not hard for kids to pick up a new skill every day.
Yeah, it's nuts, right? Like, it's nuts. Anyway, yeah, I digress. So we're talking about the political climate and ideas having you. And, yeah, dude. Let's see. Where was I going with this? If you could interject anytime you want, by the way.
Of course, it's okay. I think we have a good flow going, just talking about different stuff. I think the political climate is just insane. It's so volatile right now.
Dude, did you ever think we'd be living in a time like this? Ever?
I don't know. I feel like if we were really to go back through the decades, I feel like other groups of people have had much similar, problems, considered at a scale that we believe we're at, because when we look at scalability, things like we don't take inflation into account for a lot of things, and other things we do, but I'm sure back in the day they had plenty of problems, that were of this degree at the time, but everything's just been getting progressively worse. And, as a millennial, just thinking about all the things that we've kind of had to live through is really, really interesting. And I almost feel desensitized to new things that are constantly happening. I feel like they're just throwing things at us. Every year it seems like there's something new that they're trying to scare us with.
You're talking about the virus, huh?
I'm not necessarily talking about the virus, but it's like we had 9/11, and then, they were really pushing this whole terrorist narrative from the Middle Eastern countries, which I thought was a whole lot of crap, because I think we went to the wrong country, but, that's just me personally.
Yeah.
I'm sure others would argue with me that, our politicians got it right and they went to the right place, but I personally don't think so.
Well, it's hard when the media is a business, dude. I mean, that's all they can do, man. I mean, if if a business's only purpose is to make money, and the thing that makes money is, you know, if it bleeds, it leads. Like,
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen, dude.
Yeah.
And you know, like, do you think that the government needs to start censoring shit like that?
Real difficult question.
I know. I'll tell you
Because
from. Oh, sorry, go on.
I don't believe the government should have the authority to censor anything, quite
Yeah.
honestly. I know that's a really tough and broad stance to have, because obviously there's cases where we would probably want to censor someone, but you know, when you give them that power to censor anyone they want whenever they want, it could be you could be next, you know, for the most minor thing. So I'm not sure that I would like to grant you know, federal government the authority to do that.
I was exactly thinking the same thing. I mean, I'm into free speech, like, to the fucking most extreme degree. Like, if you want to say something, you could say it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna maybe like what you say. I might even hate what you say, dude. But I think that people should have the right to say it. But
I 100% agree. And you know what? That it sucks that you have to defend some people's right to say certain things. It's a horrible thing to do. It doesn't look good on you, but it's imperative that we protect people's speech.
Just the thing is that, like, you know, Silicon Valley is responsible for most of like the media apps that we use, and I think that they're involved in censorship, you know. And I think that's like, in a way that, I mean, I wouldn't want government to be involved in business really, but I feel like, dude, they can't just be like picking and choosing like who gets to say something and who doesn't, especially when everyone's on it. Like, everyone's on these things, you know.
Yeah. Well, that kind of turns a different corner, because when you have private businesses, I'm a believer in you know, private business rights. You know, I believe, you know, no shirt, no shoes, no service, and I think that can apply to many other different things. I'm a hard believer in, you know, the free markets. People can pick and choose where they go. People can pick and choose where they decide to do business, and people can pick and choose who they decide to do business with. And that's one of the things with this whole mask mandate. You know, I don't really like it, but if I have to wear it into a store, I'm going to wear it into a store. That's their right to make that rule.
Yeah.
And I will respect it. Now, if you told me I couldn't go outside my house and stand outside my house without a mask on, that's a little different.
Well, yeah, because it's not a business. Wait, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
For sure.
Just listening to you.
No. It's just that the thing is that everyone is on these things, you know? And like, if you say something, like, for example, like if I posted something about hydroxychloroquine, dude, it got taken down, right?
Well, that's kind of how we got into this.
Yeah,
we had a discussion on a post that I had made. Now, regarding the post, it was a person who was commenting on a video about some doctors that had made something. I didn't see the actual video that he was referencing with the doctors.
Because it was deleted, right? I think that's what happened.
So apparently one of the doctors, you know, was talking about hydroxychloroquine and how she's been treating her patients with it, and she's been seeing some success.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't see the video, but I did hear afterwards that this doctor, you know, was saying some really weird stuff about other things, like something about demons and sex, and it was super weird. It's super blown out.
Yeah.
So that's fair. I think it's fair to criticize her on those thoughts, right? The problem I have was the people immediately deleted this post, like video of the person who was commenting on it was talking about. He was talking about how these companies immediately deleted it. They've been scrubbing it. You know, people weren't allowed to see it at all. Now, I think it was up for people to watch that video and come to their own conclusions. And like I said, I think it was justified to criticize her on her previous things. Now, The problem I have is if this woman said 2 + 2 = 4, we know that's right. You know,
Yeah.
a broken clock is correct twice a day. So just because this person has said some really weird and insane stuff before doesn't automatically negate the fact that A, she's still a practicing doctor, and 2, she has something to say. I think she should at least be heard out and not
Yeah.
automatically written off. Now, is she right? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. But I think the idea of suppressing the words that these other doctors were talking about is a problem.
That's what I mean, dude. I mean, just on the free speech aspect of it, I'm not for that. On the personal aspect, I'm an atheist, dude, and I'm not gonna I say this with the utmost respect for people's beliefs. But when people talk to me about their beliefs, like when they believe in angels and God, I'm like, and they like compare that person to what that girl's saying, like, oh, demons and weird shit. I'm like, just to me, I'm like, it all sounds the same to me, dude. Like, I'm sorry, like that's just like from my point of view, that's how it looks,
Yeah.
And if you take someone like Nikola Tesla, who invented AC induction motors, that guy was batshit crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And he invented the modern world. Like, I understand what like people were like criticizers for, but like these ad hominems are not really, they're like logical fallacies, like where you're just attacking like this person as a person instead of their ideas.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way. And
Straw
but I
man
think like the
arguments,
media companies. Oh, sorry, go.
Oh, I was saying, I took a whole class on that, and I was really glad I did. And I already knew some of that stuff beforehand because my dad and I have talked about it before. But things like
a lawyer or something.
No, my dad is my dad doesn't have a college degree. My dad has a high school degree and has been a painter his whole life. But
like
going back to what we, art? No, like cars, boats, drum sets,
sick,
guitars. I know he had a couple guitars in hard rock in New York for a while that he did for a couple people. I say it all the time. My dad could have been a millionaire with the stuff he used to do. And, he was just kind of a really humble guy. Didn't really want to, make it big. He just wanted to live his life.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
He was the guy who would have happily lived out of his truck, for his whole life if he could have. And,
so let me, I just wanted to ask this like on a personal level. Is he like, was he super liberal?
No. Well, I would say my dad is more like me. Well, I guess I'd be more like him, but we try to look at both sides of the argument and kind of come to our own conclusions as to what might be right and what might be wrong. Now, my dad has, he's kind of disadvantaged because he doesn't have an education and all this thing, but he reads constantly. 24 hours a day he's reading. And when I graduated high school, so probably about 10 years ago, is when he started really reading and started learning. He started buying all sorts of books. He started looking up all sorts of articles online, and he just, would continue to read. Now, he has a few crazy ideas, but, he's not as dumb as he would sound on paper.
Yeah. Who doesn't have crazy ideas, man? I just asked that because I was just remembering, like, actually today, for some reason, Danny Harrison popped into my mind. And the line where he's like, rebelling in my house was joining ROTC and going to school.
Yeah.
Because, he's like George Harrison's son. Yeah. So I just wondered if you were just like conservative despite your dad.
No.
But cool.
No. Him and I used to be much more strongly conservative.
For sure.
We probably would have labeled ourselves Republicans back in the day. I definitely do not anymore, but like I said, life events kind of changed my thinking around everything.
Yeah, man, it happens, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, I think these media companies hold a lot of power, dude. I think if they have the power to just like censor people like that, I think it's like I don't want government to fucking be putting their hands in businesses, dude. But like honestly, like if the media is just gonna spin like narratives that do it, you know, let's face it, like it's kind of tearing the country apart. I think, dude. Like you're just like pushing a narrative that's gonna like vilify a certain group, and then like the other side's doing the same thing, vice versa.
Yeah.
You're gonna have chaos, dude, and it's not a conducive society, dude.
And again, that goes back to all of the biases that some of us, inherently have. And it's our job to look past those biases and kind of seek the truth for our own selves. You know, when I talk to people like in this way, the first thing is, oh, you just watch Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
That's far from the truth. I don't watch any mainstream media. I don't watch it on my TV. The best I can do is, look through a bunch of articles on the same issue and kind of draw the dots between all of them. What is each one reporting, and if we get a consensus on what they're reporting, then we can kind of dig deeper into some of the other details, because one article might say this thing and one article might say this other thing. And it's kind of, sometimes it's hard to get the whole truth out of, what's going on.
Why don't you think drugs are legal? It's gonna spin back on it. Like there's like there's an idea that I'm having right now.
Well, it really beats me. And, I do believe we need to end the war on drugs. I've been a strong proponent for that. It's disproportionately affected the Black community, 100%. The marijuana as a drug is a travesty that we've classified it as this horribly dangerous thing.
Yeah.
And the way it's treated at a federal level is god awful.
Mm-hmm.
People are getting locked up for long prison sentences for just having the stuff. Yeah. And again, this is disproportionately affecting the Black community. And that's why we see overcrowded prison populations, and we see these outrageous numbers when it comes to the word I'm looking for, kind of the demographic of prison population. That's why we see these stupid, outrageous numbers as to why it is. And it's god awful. And I do believe we're kind of in a police state right now. And I do think something needs to be done about that. Now, I wouldn't say defund the police and all that, but
the reason I asked that question is because I was thinking the excuse that's generally used is that drugs essentially destroy societies. Like they destroy families. Like
that's what they would tell you.
Yeah. I mean, it is true though. Like, like there's hard drugs, and I've seen people who like legitimately fuck their lives up doing that kind of shit.
Yeah, but here's my thing. We treat it as such a big problem that we're willing to ruin people's lives even more than they've already ruined it. We make them pay fines.
Yeah.
We send them to jail, and I think that's a problem. I think if you look at some other countries, they classify it as a mental health issue.
Yeah,
in which you can seek help. Now, I think that would be a way better idea than locking people up for doing these things.
I agree. I definitely agree. But the way that I was going to spin what we were talking about before with the media and the whole drug thing is that if the drug thing is outlawed and there's regulations on that kind of shit because of what it would do to the fabric of society, is like, it's the same thing as, when businesses were they were like mandated to give their workers like working wages. You know what I mean? Like if it were left up to the businesses, like if you had like pure capitalism without any regulations and the businesses were like able to do whatever they wanted, then let's just say for the sake of argument, all they wanted to do was to maximize profits then they'd for sure always be wanting to keep the pay down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have government stepping in to regulate that.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing what I'm talking about with the media, dude, is that it's kind of just really destroying. I believe it's destroying the fabric of society. Like it seems like a more carcinogenic kind of aspect to our world, man.
Are we talking about drugs, or are we talking about just the idea of capitalism?
I'm spinning it like the idea is that I'm spinning like the reason why there's regulations on drugs is because I mean what they say is that it'll destroy the fabric of society.
Okay.
And what I think is happening with the media is that it is destroying the fabric of society, like
Okay.
with what's happening, you know. And I think that, I mean, I hate to say it, but I really do think that there has to be like regulation in what the media can report. Like I kind of think maybe they should re-examine the idea of a 24 hours news network, you know, and
Yeah.
and also just like I don't know, dude, like race baiting is kind of just like a really insidious thing that's infecting people like the entire country and the world over, really.
Yeah, race has been a real big problem in this country for a long time.
Definitely.
Um,
I don't
you
want to
know,
believe it though, man. Like, I listened to Jordan Peterson and he said,
I love Peterson.
Yeah, I do too, man. He said that homogenous countries are inherently more stable because
They
they're
are.
homogenous.
I've talked about. I have the same talking point. When you look at other countries, you look at their demographics and what they believe. You know, you kind of see less infighting because everybody's kind of on the same page. You know, a lot less people, and you know, homogenous society. They all kind of have the same things. One of the things I've written about before is what's called moral relativism. Do you know what the idea of moral relativism is?
Yeah, yeah.
And I've kind of talked about it, how it's eventually going to cause a problem here in America if it hasn't already, because what is relatively moral to some of us here would be relatively immoral to us from another. If somebody were to come from another country, they brought some of their culture, some of these things, we'd say, okay, we don't think that's moral of you. You know, you look at some other countries and just how they treat women, for example. Some of these countries treat women as inferior to men, and they're expected to be subservient to men. Now, me personally, I would think that's morally wrong, but if you were to go there, they think it's morally right. So our melting pot is becoming so diverse to a point where everyone's different ideas are creating a moral hazard and a moral problem, because some of us think what one group is doing might be immoral, while others might look at us and be like, okay, that's perfectly moral. And that's going to cause a tear in the Americas, I think. Until we can all somehow get on the same page and agree on what is moral and what is immoral, then we're going to be fighting forever.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I've had some thoughts about like what it would take to really get over the ghosts of our pasts. Like but I really think maybe just a concerted effort to say, okay, like we're gonna hold this event, and after this, we gotta like agree to just move forward, because like it's like, have you ever had a shitty relationship?
I've had a few, yeah.
Like a really fucking toxic one where you're just like, fuck, dude. For example, I'm just gonna give you one of mine. A girlfriend cheated on me, right?
I had one too.
And I cheated on her.
Mm-hmm.
Same girlfriend. And our relationship just became us talking about the past. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
If we were, and I'd like to think that, maybe because we were kids, we weren't able to like move past it. I mean, we can make the argument that once you cheat, the relationship is over, just straight up. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, that like you say you're mature enough to work past it, what would that take? Would it take looking at the, like, saying, all right, this happened and we're going to talk about it. And if I forgive you, it's forgiven forever. Like, can that happen? I don't know.
I would like to think it could happen, honestly. I do think the country needs to go through a major healing process, but I think that starts from the top down. And I will argue with anyone that I don't trust a single politician to do what's right. I think it amazes me because I think we can all agree that not one single human being is perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of us are imperfect people. And somehow politicians have been put on this pedestal to where they're thought to be these perfect people who know how to run our lives better than we do. And I think that's become a major problem. And to me, it's why would we put imperfect people in positions of power that we wouldn't trust imperfect people to run, right? Like, why would you give me authority over you for any reason? So why, just because we've created this hierarchy of government, why do I have to yield that power to someone that I don't believe in? And that's where kind of the whole democracy issue comes in. Why should 51% of the people get to control the other 49%?
It kind of gets to like what we were talking about before, right? Like when we talk about like your personal biases, right? Mm-hmm. You're never going to be able to be completely perfect, but it's the attempt, right? That's what really matters. It's the ability to like self-analyze and say, okay, I was wrong in this moment, and grow. I mean, that's what we're doing, across eons. We don't do slavery anymore. We don't we're not as barbaric as we used to be.
Yeah.
We don't.
I would
engage
argue
in cannibalism.
We do have slavery, and just my personal opinion, I do believe we have slavery in other forms. I think debt is a huge slave to people.
Yeah. I know. I get it. But I mean, like, the trajectory of society, even though it's not perfect, I think goes like this, dude. Like if you zoom in on the graph, it's probably like this and shit, But I think societies as a whole, like, are getting better.
Societies as a whole are getting better. I would 100% agree with that. We could look at the data all day and we could see exponentially that, all these things have been growing as time goes on. And it's, when you look at the world as a whole, and especially the developed world, we just exist in this tiny little space of time that the whole universe and the whole earth is around.
Yes, bro.
And I think what one of the really interesting things is I know Dr. Peterson has talked about this before, but when you analyze something, we're analyzing just the small space of time and how it's been affected. So, what may seem long to us isn't really that long in its entirety.
Yeah, it's a historical perspective that I think people really need to start engaging in. I think the kind of human beings that are gonna overcome these problems aren't the kind of human beings that are produced now. I think definitely a different type of education needs to take place. I believe, like I don't think that, like, for example, I think I'm very open as a person because as a child I was able to, I'm Mexican American, and I spent a lot of time in Mexico, and I got to see what real poverty looks like. I got to see what like a society with kind of like a crumbling infrastructure really looks like. And I think that cultural exposure really like opens you up to like a more understanding perspective of how like things are, like things are never perfect.
Yeah.
And I think there's a bitterness about that, like in today's youth, where they look at the sins of their fathers with the inability to forgive.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big issue, the ability to forgive,
Yeah. And I like what you mentioned about, how you're Mexican American and you spent time in Mexico. So you were saying you've seen what horrible infrastructure and real poverty looks like.
Mm-hmm.
When we come back here, it's completely different. And what I don't think people realize is not everyone has had these same experiences that you have.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I love experiencing new cultures. When I was younger, my parents always tried to get us to do different stuff. And for me, I mean, everyone knows I'm a big guy. I'm a big proponent of food. So I
Hell
like
yeah.
to experience different cultures through food.
Hell
right?
yeah, dog.
So I am a huge proponent of going to different places and going to different parts of the world and trying new food.
That's
And
cultural appropriation, Skylar. You can't do
I don't know about that. I'll enjoy anyone's food. I'm like Andrew Zimmern. If it looks good, try it, because I bet you it's good.
Hell yeah.
So it's like, I grew up here my whole life, and I really didn't. I kind of experienced different things here and there, and it wasn't until I got older that I started having like other different experiences. So like I said, food was one of the main things, right? So I joke about it a lot, but my parents are they're the epitome of the white people meme, where it's like you go to their house and they have to take salt or seasonings with them to season their food. Like that was my family, right? So when I got older, and it was more around the time I was hanging out with all you guys, is when I started experiencing stuff. So like real Mexican food, right? It's not just, tacos and burritos and rice and beans, right? And it's not just like steak and chicken. So I remember the first time, one of my favorite tacos, oh God, I love eating buche. Buche is my favorite taco meat. And if I were to tell people what it is right now, people would be really turned off and probably a little grossed out by it. I mean, I've told my parents what it is, and they're like, "Why would you eat that? And it's delicious. Just go try it. It's amazing." And it's incredible. That's I previously I talked about how the moral relativism can be a problem in this country. But at the same time, it's a great thing to have all this diversity. We could do all sorts of different stuff and experience different cultures, right in our own backyard. And I think that's an incredible gift.
Yeah, it's that whole cultural appropriation thing. Like, I think it's really interesting because, to me, I just think it's diffusion. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. The food thing is like benign. I don't really believe in it, dude, to be honest. I don't really believe like it's an insult. I mean, I guess there are insulting things, like when they have like historical, like, like blackface and shit like that.
I think the bad actors are really easy to spot in these cultural appropriation things. I think some people are genuinely trying to actually appreciate the culture, or trying to put a spotlight on it.
Yeah, like, guys with dreadlocks. You saw that dude who got like accosted by that a girl from SFSU, I think.
Yeah.
Right, like this white guy just had dreads, and like this black girl's just like, nah, you can't have that shit. I was like, come on, dude.
I did see that.
Yeah.
That's a little over the top. Like,
I believe so too, man.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I think it's easy to spot the bad actors.
I agree.
People who are genuinely trying to insult a culture and, demean it in any way. I think those people are easy to spot.
Yeah. People who are malicious, like you could definitely see it, man.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think diversity is a strength, dude. Oh, I don't know. The thing is, I don't know anymore. Like, I would have thought so too.
On the issue. I go back and forth on the issue. I think we've been talking about how nothing's perfect. I think, again, this whole diversity thing is an imperfect thing.
Yeah.
I think it's got loads of great pluses, and I think it's got a few minuses to it.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of how we approach it all.
Yeah. I mean, it's wonderful. Like, when I leave LA, Like I miss, being able to get quality sushi or
Yeah.
fucking like Mediterranean food, you know?
Yeah.
Like I go to Mexico and like, there's hardly any Japanese people there. Like, and there's like sushi spots and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't
Yeah.
know about this. But
Japan is on my #1 list of places to go visit.
you're into anime, huh?
Visit.
You like
Huh?
anime, you like anime, don't you?
I do like lots of different anime.
Hell yeah. I think I remember that about you.
Yeah.
What's your jam right now?
Oh, my favorite anime of all time is One Piece.
One Piece?
It's this incredibly long show.
I know, dude.
And I'm gonna get chastised for this, but I do watch the dub. I'm not a huge sub person. Yeah, I watch the dub. And I will say I will watch a sub if I started in sub. I got into One Piece because it used to run on Toonami at night.
Yeah.
And you get so used to like the American voice actors that you try to switch over, and you just get completely lost in what's going on because it's like voices aren't the same and you're trying to read it and it just becomes like a big old mess. So I'm way behind on One Piece. There's about almost 1,000 episodes out.
That shit's endless, dude. It's crazy.
Since, I think it's 1999 it's been running, or 2000, something like that. It's been running for ages and it's almost to 1,000 episodes, but the dub is only up to about 600. So
I was into it, but I lost track just because of that. Like I was like, this is way too much, dude. I can't watch this, dude.
Yeah, you watch some of these shows and they're really long, but they're really good. I really enjoy them. And I'm sure some people are just automatically going to write me off as like, this dumb, weird nerd who likes anime. And it's like, if I like the anime because I appreciate, the hard work in the art form, it's an incredible medium. Some of these people are still doing these things by hand. Like,
preach, dude, preach.
How many cartoonists do you actually know anymore?
I know, dude. When you take like Hayao Miyazaki shit, it's just like a masterpiece, dude.
Mm-hmm. And I think some of the art form is lost. And, I think everybody has their mediums of choice. And mine just happens to be anime and video games. I think video games I'm huge on. I'm that dumb loser who's just been playing them her whole life. And
do you think it's because we have like this background in like some sort of creative endeavor? Because hear me out on this. I choose animation as my favorite medium because I think it's creatively the most limitless thing you can engage in, because you're not limited by your budget. You're just limited by your mind. Like you could draw anything you want,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do think creativity might have some spot in there. Now I'm just thinking, I got all these thoughts running through my head, but with anime, there's like no limits. And I think if most people were to watch serious anime, you'd realize it's not for kids.
Definitely.
Anime is filled with very, very adult themes throughout every anime I've ever watched. There's very adult themes. These shows aren't geared towards children a whole lot.
Definitely. Like the best ones are bar none, like some of the best stories I've ever like, honestly, even like the best mediums that I've seen. Like when I was a kid, bro, like I had like the Sci-Fi channel. My parents had the black box. So we had all these fucking like illegal channels. And I remember like late at night, like I was like maybe like 6 and I was flipping through it and I saw Akira. Like I saw the whole thing and I think like I was like locked in on it, but like looking back on it, it's like, man, maybe there was something like I couldn't articulate it as a little boy, but now I can like articulate like I was seeing something really special, like because like the animation is incredible, the score is incredible, like the storyline. Yeah, it looks fucking beautiful even like by today's standards.
And then you get shows like Cowboy Bebop.
Dude, the best. I think that's legitimately the best.
Yeah, Afro Samurai. All very adult-themed anime.
Hell yeah, dog. Did you ever watch Berserk at all?
It's on my list.
Dude, I think it's my favorite, dude.
Is it? Is it really good? It's on my list to watch.
It's amazing, dude. It's fucking amazing.
I have I pay for a Funimation account.
Uh-huh.
Funimation is kind of the general company that does all the dub stuff. Like I said, I watch the dub. It's much easier for me.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a purist, definitely not an anime purist, but I subscribe to it, and I'll go and watch like some random stuff on there. You'd be surprised at some of the stuff you find on there, like stuff you would never even think to watch. There was a show that I found on there, and I actually really enjoyed. It was called Assassination Classroom. And
Assassination Classroom.
I think that's what it's called. So it's super interesting. It's like this alien life form has come to Earth, and he plans on destroying the Earth in like X amount of time. But he is willing to teach this class. So he becomes this like sensei, this teacher, and he's kind of teaching all these kids in this classroom like all these life things, and then he's trying to teach them how to kill him. It's really weird, but it's super good.
Does he want to die or some shit? Like, is he suicidal?
I haven't watched the whole thing. I just watched the first season, but it's a really interesting show. Somebody would be able to explain it way better than I could. But
have you heard of this horror animation? He's not an anime. He's a manga artist, but something Junji Ito. I think that's his name.
I think I have heard of him. Is that a show?
No, he's an author, and he just like draws a shitload of like little. It's not like a manga because it's not serialized. It's just like little one-off stories, but they're really fucking creepy, like really creepy.
I do think I have heard of him. Let's see.
It's like really, yeah. It's interesting artwork too. Like it's just...
I have heard of him. I haven't seen a whole lot of it, but I do. I think some people have been, inspired by some of his work.
Yeah, I think definitely that's a new forefront for American directors to tap into.
Yeah.
Because, but the thing is, I don't think they do it well. Because I think they have to really be fans.
Like the American anime that comes out?
Yeah, dude, like the Death Note one. I don't know if you liked it, but I didn't like it, dude.
I never saw Death Note, but I have heard it's good.
No, the Netflix one. They adopted it for you.
I refuse to watch any of the live action stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Don't even bother.
Oh my god, dude. It's so ridiculous.
Wasn't there a Full Metal Alchemist live action?
Yeah, I haven't watched that either. I'm not gonna watch that shit, dude.
I know there's a One Piece live action in development too. I refuse to watch any.
Dude, the guy who made I get confused between Jordan Peele and whatever his name is.
Keegan Michael Keel.
I wish it was Kegel.
No, see, now I'm getting all tongue twisted. I think it's Keegan Michael Key, and then
Jordan Peele. Yeah. Whoever made Get Out was allegedly relayed to me that he was going to direct Akira, and I was like, no, God, no, please. Like,
I think that was Peele. Peele is the one who did that. He's the one who directed it, and oh my God, he's a great director. I never would have thought. I have to look it up. I think he directed a movie that my studio is putting out here soon.
Oh, no way. What's your studio, by the way? I don't know. I can't believe I didn't ask.
Oh, I work for MGM Studios.
MGM?
Yeah. One of the older ones, but
I'm gonna put Foley, and it's gonna be a shitload of people clapping for you, dude. No, congratulations. That's awesome, man.
It's fun. Thank you. Directed by, I thought he was involved with the Candyman project.
That guy just likes to make horror, huh?
Yes, he was a producer and he did the screenplay. So he's actually really good at this horror stuff. That's Jordan Peele.
I wasn't a fan of Get Out, to be honest, but I did I like the next one though. I like the next one. Us? Yeah, I liked Us. It was cool.
I didn't see that, but I can imagine it's good. But I'm surprised you didn't like Get Out. I thought Get Out was really good.
I thought it was essentially Tales from the Hood. Like, have you ever seen that movie?
No.
It's kind of the same thing. Like,
okay.
Shit like that in it.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. It was okay. Like, don't get me wrong. I didn't hate it. I was just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I dug Us a lot though. Like, I thought like the intro was a bit like really, really clever. And
Yeah,
how they
I'll have to pick up Us. I haven't watched that one yet.
I like Inarritu's work. Fucking Birdman was amazing, I think.
I don't think I saw that. I didn't see Birdman. Is that the one with what's his face?
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's cool because like the whole score is just drums. Like I was like, oh, this is
Really?
cool. Yeah, it's awesome,
that's
dude.
interesting.
Yeah, dude. You should transcribe it, man.
Oh God! Don't make me do it.
It's like an hour and a half movie of fucking transcription.
I have nightmares about Alan and all those guys just having me transcribe something. I remember doing that very vividly.
That shit makes you good though. Like honestly, I think transcription is like what makes you fucking great.
It does.
And I get really lazy about doing it.
Yeah.
I haven't fucking done it at all.
Yeah.
But listen, man, we've been here for a while. If you got shit to do, I won't keep you, you know? We've been here for an hour already.
Have we? Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Our sessions are usually an hour. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we can call it a day at that, but you know, if you ever want to talk again, feel free to reach out. You have all my contacts. So I'd love to come on again if you want to.
Of course, man, dude.
To talk about. I can talk about all this stuff all day, you know.
I love catching up with you, dude. It was fucking great seeing you, dude.
It was good seeing you too, dude.
All right, man. Have a good day, dude.
Yeah, you enjoy the rest of your day, man.
Oh, wait. Do you want to plug your thing?
Oh, I mean, I guess. I do run a finance page. If anybody, wants to follow it, it's Sky, SKY _ the finance guy.
That's awesome, dude. That's a dope ass name, dude. Are you on Instagram?
Yes, that's the Instagram handle.
Sky, the finance guy. That's just awesome.
It's a little finance page I run. I put, things I'm watching, little finance information tidbits on trading, a bunch of different stuff. I'll be ramping that up.
Awesome, man. Congrats, dude. I might go to you for some financial advice because I don't know shit about that.
Yeah, I might. I've been thinking about it. I might start doing some financial coaching.
Dude, please, dude. I'd fucking pay for that once I get a job again.
Well, I wish you luck on your job search, man. I'm sorry to hear about that.
It's all right, man. It happens.
Yeah.
Pandemics happen.
Yeah. But I wish you the best of luck, man.
Yeah, man. I'll see you, dude. Have a nice day.
Thanks, man. You have a good day.
You too, man.
Later.
Laters.
What you cooking? I'm breakfast, mijo.